going to say a comment. And it's going to ruffle some feathers. And it is what it is. Now, I can't help that the feathers are ruffled. I'm not sorry that it ruffled the feathers. I'm not trying to intentionally ruffle the feathers, but inevitably the feathers get ruffled. Partially because the feathers are trained to get ruffled. But I don't believe in hell. You know you can't leave the chocolate on the bottom of the Reese's cup, your paper. You can't. That's illegal. So anyway, I don't believe in hell, like a physical place. Hell. And letting go of that concept freed me from a lot of torment that I had, especially torment growing up. I was the child. Well, first of all, a lot of children just cannot conceptualize and understand concepts that adults feel like they have understanding about. I don't even know if adults really have full concepts of everything, but okay, the adult feels like they understand something enough. Kids don't have that same explanation or understanding rationale of certain things, right? And so as a child, I've always been a person that felt deeply. Like if I'm happy, it's happy to attend. If I'm sad, it's sad to attend. If I'm mad, it's mad to 20. I've never just had, I guess, baseline emotions. I guess I'm trying to use that. I think I want to use that word. I'm careful with that word just because it is used in the psychology world, and I don't want to. I'm not that type of person that's going to really go into that. But I definitely just was a child that always felt very deeply, and so open the door for what? And I'm sorry that I was reading a comment. And I was always tormented. I was always worried that I wasn't doing something good enough and I was going to hell. I was always worried that God didn't love me. I was always worried because people in church, the church that I grew up in, they would have this like saying that when they think about Jesus, their entire bodies would buck and quiver, right? And they felt the power of Jesus so strongly in them. I never felt that. As a child, I never felt that, so I never understood that. And I thought, because I didn't feel that, I wasn't feeling God's love, therefore, God didn't love me. Because I didn't feel that intrinsical, that internal like shake and convulsion at the sound in the name of Jesus, I felt like I was a lost cause, right? I also, and this is something I don't know if I've ever shared publicly, but as a child, I would also have, self-talk starts well before childhood, right? And I would have this voice inside of my head that would always say, fuck something. It would say, fuck the Holy Ghost, fuck God, fuck. It would say that in my head, right? I'm like, what is this? And so I was just always like, why don't I feel and why am I not behaving like other Christians, right? And that sent me in torment. The absolute torment, because there was a scripture that the Christians talked about constantly saying that, you could sin and you could do anything, but don't blaspheme against the Holy Ghost. And in my head, I'm over here like, fuck the Holy Ghost every day, right? As an adult and being on my own journey now, right, I think of things so differently. The torment that I had as a child was unnecessary. But the torment was made stronger because I just wasn't raised in a community that was able to let young people navigate spiritual beliefs and spiritual practices of other places and see what worked well for them. I wasn't in a community where learning about different beliefs and different faiths it wasn't okay. It wasn't approved. In fact, it was shunned. Learning and hearing of, like, even just listening about other beliefs, even just being near people that had other belief systems, the faith that I grew up in, the rhetoric, the verbiage, basically had you thinking that just being near them, you could fall susceptible to them, right? Just being near them, you can turn away from Jesus. Just being near them, you could like catch it. I don't know what it was, but you could catch it. And so I grew up very sheltered, very closed-minded. But the thing is that something inside of me was always fighting to learn. It was always fighting to understand about other belief systems and faiths and cultures and religions and spiritualities. Always, always. There was never a time in my childhood where I did not want to dig deeper and and go. I always knew there was more, right? And as I got older, I never once questioned, because I was trained, I never once questioned if there was a God or not. I never once questioned if there was a heaven or hell, right? I never once questioned that. Well, Liz, don't say that's beautiful quite yet. Just hold on, because you may not like what I'm about to say. When I was around 34, my spiritual awakening started happening. And I started questioning the existence of Christ and the existence of God. And for me, it wasn't, some people need logical book truth. Some people need like facts, artifacts. They call that, what is that? It's the study of cultures, the study of, what is that word? It begins with an A. The study of anthropology, not anthropology, but it could be anthropology and sociology. Some people need that kind of, but for me, I told you from the very beginning, I never felt connected to it. But I also told you from the very beginning that I'm a person who feels. I feel deeply. So if I was supposed to feel that, I should have felt it by 34. I never felt it. What I learned how to do in the church that I grew up in was to look like them. I'm a mistress of disguise, right? When you go through my zodiac and you look at where my planets are in my houses, when you look at where my north node and my south node are, I'm a mistress of disguise. I know how to see a community and blend in with them, how to dress like them, how to speak like them, there are accents that I imitate that I'm damn good at them, right? And you guys are gonna see that one day. I'm gonna go into my British accent, but I have to just kind of do it naturally. I can't like play with it. I have to just be talking and going to it. And people from London will be like, that's pretty good. Like, we can still tell, but that's pretty good, right? Just because I don't know their slang. So, but if I learn the slang of Londoners, I'm gonna be blending in. Y'all not gonna know, right? Y'all not gonna know this Kansas girl is not from the UK. But I am very good at that, right? I've always been able to do that. And so I realized for 34 years, I had dressed like them. I had begun to speak like the church. I had begun to dance like the church. I had begun to speak in tongues like the church. That ain't the Holy Ghost. I just learned how to do it. I learned how to mimic it and imitate it, right? Now, I'm not saying that speaking in tongues isn't real, because I do speak in the heavenly language, you want to call it, light language, whatever people want to call it. I can speak that, but I do that in my closed practice. Ain't nobody hearing it, listening to it. I'm not trying to show out for nobody. But I absolutely learned how to imitate it in the church, in the Pentecostal church specifically. I never could get, the dancing, I think I give myself about a 7.5 on the dance, just because I naturally cannot dance. But I mimicked their dances to the point where people left me alone. I mimicked to hide inside of that church culture so that people could leave me alone. But I never, ever believed fully that Jesus was real, that he was my savior. And at 34, I finally, for me, realized that I didn't believe in Jesus. I didn't believe Jesus was real for me. I'm not saying that Jesus is not a real person. I don't care. It didn't affect my life. Whether Jesus was a real person or not doesn't affect anything of my paycheck. It doesn't affect my bills. It doesn't affect anything about me, so I don't care. I didn't care to go down that rabbit hole of if it was proving the existence of Christ. What I said was Christ wasn't real for me. What I said that heaven and hell were mindsets and were not physical places. And that there was no way for anybody to prove that heaven was real. There was no way for anybody to prove, because there's nobody that has really been dead for days. When you die for these 20 minutes and 30 minutes, don't get me wrong, I know that there is something to that. I've been there. I've had my own experiences. But I do not call that like a dead, like in the morgue dead, right? I don't call that. There are so many things that happen to your brain chemically wise when you're in those induced states of consciousness being left, or consciousness being like in between veils, in between realms. There are so many things that go on. If you've ever had an experience like that, and I have, then you'll understand what I'm saying. And I know people come back with stories, but these are their personal stories. Their personal stories are have no more merit to me than somebody writing a book and saying, oh, it's in this book. It's in a book that another person wrote. I don't take another person's word over. I take what I feel and what I believe, and that's what I feel people should be doing. I feel like everybody, I don't care if you were born into a Muslim family. I don't care if you were born into a Christian family. I don't care if you were born into a Hindu family. I don't care what family you were born into. Your mom and dad may have chosen that faith. But I think that every child should be given the opportunity to learn and to grow and to go out and find out. I think the Amish community does this. When their children turn either 16 or 18, they allow them to go out into the world for a year. And if they want to stay, they can. And if they want to come back, they come back. That right there is to know that you have the blessing of the people that love you most to go out and learn. That's comforting, okay? That is so comforting. And a lot of people won't leave these religions and faith-based because they're afraid that they will be disowned by their family. They'll lose a piece of their identity. Well, if you say I'm not your daughter anymore, well then who am I? If you say I'm dead to you because I don't believe in what you believe in, well then who am I? And that is catastrophic for some people, right? And until you get to the place, and some people may never get to that place, but until you get to the place where I am willing to lose my complete identity and everybody and everything associated with who I knew myself to be, to go find out where I'm supposed to be, I know and believe for a fact that if you're sitting in Christian churches, if you're sitting in Muslim churches, if you're sitting in churches and you're not happy in life, I don't care about your money. I do care about that, but that's not what I'm like. What's more important than money is feeling good about yourself, is feeling happy, is feeling strong, is feeling powerful, is feeling like you're able to do things, it's feeling smart, it's feeling like you're worthy, just feeling good about life and yourself. And if you're in belief systems and you don't feel good about yourself, I believe that a lot of people are in belief systems that they shouldn't be in, because your belief system is associated to your spirit. Your belief system and your spiritual system should basically be interwoven with each other. So your belief system strengthens and feeds and develops the spirit. I'm going to say that again. Your belief system should strengthen and develop and support your spirit system, your spiritual path, your spirit, period. It should feed it. It should cultivate it. It should lead it. It should guide it. It should cover it. It should grow it. It should expand it. Your belief system, whatever you say you believe in as far as like faith or whatever, it should expand you in the spirit, who you are, the spirit of you, right? And if the spirit of you is timid, if the spirit of you is strong, if the spirit of you is bold, then your belief system should edify that. If your spirit is weak and timid and afraid, then your belief system will edify that. And often Christian belief systems edify. They edify the belief systems of the spirit of people that are hiding, people that are afraid. Some of the strongest people I know that are in Christianity have things that if they ever asked me to be honest one day and said, would you tell me where an area where you think I'm weak in? I could very clearly tell them where it is. And it's an area that if you could get strong in this area, you're already God. I believe everybody is God. You'd be unstoppable. Somebody asked me, how long have I been in the an LGBTQ woman? I won't talk about that today. Just know that I'm a supporter, and sometimes I'm a member. Wait a minute, let me say this though. I've probably been that way my whole life. True truth. Which denomination of Christianity are you talking about? All of them to me. I grew up Pentecostal though. Church of God in Christ. But all of them. Every single one of them. Hey, from Indonesia. And so, what I do think, and another thing, let me say this about, because I'm a woman and I want to say the difference between something. I do believe that religion is for men and spirit is for women. The women are feminine energy, but feminine energy is darkness and feminine energy is the spirit. It's the wheelhouse. It is the storehouse of spirituality. In fact, that's why women have to be very careful with the type of men that they entertain, because your entire body and your mind is a church. You are a temple. Men need religion because they need order and structure and they need leaders. Men need someone to submit to. Women are the church. Women are the spirit. Women are the intuition. And that is why men and women work well together. When you do not have a male or a female counterpart, it is your responsibility to be strong in both masculine and feminine energy within yourself. But when you have a counterpart, you can lean and depend on those counterparts. Yeah, all 30, John. All 30K of them. Yes, sir. All of them. I don't mince words. And I'm old enough, I don't mince words. You can't back me into a corner. I'm 41 years old, baby. About to be 42. Been there, done that, seen that. Grew up in a cult. You can't tell me nothing. And so, if your belief system goes hand in hand with your spirit, who you believe you are. And when you're part of belief systems that keep you suppressed and oppressed under rules and legalistics and morality that don't belong to you, that is oppression. And that is resistance, and that can keep your spirit from fully opening up and developing into who it wants to be, who it wants to express. Your spirit wants to express something. But oftentimes religions stifle the suppression of your energy fully, your spirit fully, more often than not. And what I'm originally trying to say is that it's important, I believe, that you find the spiritual practice, not system, the spiritual practice that works for you. Well, what does that mean? So for me, what that meant was learning and growing and expanding and going to read and more so I love, according to if you guys do the natal charts, right? So my South Node is in Sagittarius, I believe. My North Node is in Gemini, South Node is Sagittarius. Anyway, in this lifetime, I am supposed to, and here's the problem, and not the problem, but like the beauty of this. In my lifetime, I am supposed to learn through other people, like through interaction with other people. And that's why I travel. And when I travel, I don't travel to go to sit in resorts. When I travel, I want to be in the city with people. When I went to Italy, I made friends with the waitress, and I'm trying to go to your house and go see your family and how they live and what your house looks like, right? I actually like to go in with people and understand. I love different cultures. I love sitting and learning and understanding. I like things about the Islamic culture. I like some things about the Christian culture. I love some things about the Buddhist culture. I love some things about the Baha'i faith culture. I love some things about cultures you never heard of. I love some things about an African spirituality by the name of Ifa. I love some things about Santeria, which is very big here in Mexico. Catholicism, and I like some things about Catholicism. And I love some things about Kabbalah and Judaism. All Judaism has some things, but Kabbalah and Judaism, I like some things about the Tao Te Ching. And so for me, I get the opportunity to meet people that follow these practices. I get to learn from them. I get to see how their practice has strengthened their spirit. And if I like how it strengthened their spirit, I can merge some of these practices into my practice. My closed practice is a hodgepodge. You know, they used to call, do you guys remember when we were little, if you're from the United States, when we were little, we used to take go to the soda machine and put a bit of every soda in the thing, and we called it a suicide. We had like strawberry, Coke, Dr. Pepper, Mountain Dew. You put it all in one cup, and I don't know what it probably tastes like, a Long Island iced tea, probably, but we call them suicides, right? That's how. Let's see. Believers will believe and follow anything. Okay, John. I don't care if that doesn't sound realistic to you. John, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you that. Anyway, see, John. Never mind. I'm trying to be. I want to keep my little followers. I ain't trying to be mean to nobody. But the thing is that when you insert, it doesn't sound realistic. Like, it doesn't sound realistic to you, but that's because you're limited. If it doesn't sound realistic to you, keep that to yourself. I don't have a limiting belief. I believe. So at first, I believed in duality, meaning two things can be correct at the same time. So, for example, if you look at a 9 and look at a 6, and if there's a 9 and a 6 on this table, one of us is going to see 6 and one of us is going to see 9. Both of us are correct. It just depends on where you're sitting, right? And because of where I sit, I can see multiple things at one time. So I don't have a limiting belief that says that something has to make sense just in this way. That'll limit you every time. Every time. It may be. Oh, John, that's condescending. Yeah. It may be. Multiple things can be true at the same time. And when you open up yourself for that, you will see how limited you've been your entire life. But it is very possible. If anybody tells you that it's not possible, it is possible, okay? That you can benchmark and listen to a lot of people. You can listen to this culture, this culture, and this culture, and see what feels right to you and what works for them, and saying, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that. Like, one thing I really love, if you're getting into meditation and you're going to absolutely go into Hinduism and Buddhism, you're going to like tap into some of the things in their culture because they were the originators of it, right? But one thing I really love, I love when they get into that trance. Well, I loved when I first saw it, how they can get into that trance and chant for hours, and understanding what that did to the brain psychology and the pathology of the neurological pathways. What? Who wasn't about to do that? Who wasn't about to sit and chant? And now, the first time that I was able to tap into that zone and I chanted a affirmation for myself, for my spirit. I chanted something that I needed my spirit to latch hold to, right? And as I was chanting that, I said, this feels like when I was back in church. Because I was a person in church. Like, if anything I liked about the Christian church, it was, specifically in the Pentecostal church that I belonged to. What I loved most, I won't say I loved church, but there was a part, I think it was on Fridays, we would go and have prayer service. I loved prayer service because we were each in our own balls, on our own corners. And there was a posture that I can get into. I think they call it child's pose. I literally have gotten into that posture naturally my entire life since a little child. I sleep like that sometimes too. As a big grown adult, I put my knees up and I'm literally in a ball because it's very comfortable to me. But that's also a position where I can chant in and I literally can zone into something, right? And so when I first did the chanting that I essentially thought I was borrowing from the Buddhist, I was like, it helped me to be able to see that when you learn about different religions, you can see the similarities across religions. And so whereas Buddhists go into a chant and a trance, a lot of Christians do the same thing when they have prayer and they go into these channeling trance-like situations. And for me, like I said, everybody would be at their own chair. You'd be able to get on your knees. You'd be able to walk around. I did like walking around. I remember one time, side note, we had a prayer service and I walked more than I knew because the next day when I woke up, I was like, my legs hurt. I don't know how many miles I walked around the sanctuary of that church, but I walked because I had tapped into something in the spirit that my spirit had locked hold to. And I just was chanting and walking and chanting and walking. They don't call it chanting in that church. In my church, in my old church, they called it going in. But don't that sound like the same thing? If I said I'm channeled and tapped into something and they called it going in, it's the same thing. Shakespeare said, that which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. You can call it what you want to call it. Same thing, right? But if you give yourself an opportunity, if you're on here and you're saying, Kelly, something about this, I'm feeling this, what you're saying, go learn. And you can start off with books, right? Use YouTube for what it is, okay? Use YouTube for learning. YouTube is the only social media that I'm actively on. I have profiles on other social media, but I don't log into them until November and December of the end of each year, because I don't want anybody else's vision and anybody else's life and anybody else's goals and their energy. I don't want it intertwining with mine. I'm very sure where I'm going. I'm very sure where I want to be and who I am. And so for me to protect my identity and protect where I'm going in the spirit of what I'm cultivating, I limit the amount of influences that I have. And social media is a big way to have influences in that way. But using YouTube I love, because YouTube is learning. You can learn so much. There is not one faith that you cannot find on YouTube. You can find tribal communities on YouTube and learn from them. So I love, what is the position of full? I don't have full submission to a creator. I don't believe it. I'm a creator. I am the creator. Okay? Me. If that's what you're wanting to know, I thought I made that clear, but that's okay. John, I believe that you are God. I believe that Cecilia is God. I believe that everybody on here is God. And I believe that I'm God. I believe the closest thing that anybody could ever get to God is to bring all 8 billion of us together. And that's not even it. You got to bring all 8 billion humans. You got to bring all the animals together. You got to bring... Ooh. Okay. Sorry, that was my nail tech. She's down here in Mexico. We about to go make a ride. I love her. She's my friend. My nail tech turned into my friend, right? I believe that every animal, every tree, every living organism on this earth is God. And if you crumple us all together in one big ball, that's the closest thing you're going to get to God. And everybody is different, and everybody has different beliefs, and everybody has different morals, and that is who God is. God is omni. If you want to use your Christian, if you believe in the Bible, if you want to use that, God, that's stupid, John. Can you fly in space and breathe? That's stupid. Who wants to fly in space and breathe? I want to live in Mexico. I want to spend money in Mexico. I want to eat Reese's cups. Who the fuck wants to go fly? If that's what you want to do, go do that. But that's not what I want to do. So why would I be worried about that? Why would I be worried about flying in space? That's stupid. You should feel stupid for writing that. I don't want to do that. What I want to do, I'm doing. And I'm happy doing it. I love my life. It just gets better and better every day. Doing what I want to do. Flying in space ain't it. I like to fly to Jamaica. I like to fly to Las Vegas. And I do that often. In fact, I'll be doing that again in April. So yeah, I fly where I want to fly. And do what I want to do. Everything I want to do in life. And here's another thing, John. If you were happy, you wouldn't even be writing this stuff to me. You're unhappy. And you're confused. And you're oppressed. And that's why you're on here on my video. Because you're searching for something. But instead of you listening, you're fighting. Your dissonance is fighting. And that's your fault. But it ain't got shit to do with me. I'm not fighting. I'm happy. I have peace. I sleep well. I have great friends. I have great friends. Great family. But I don't have a responsibility to anybody else but myself. And that's the beauty of it. You misunderstand who God is. And that's because you guys have anthropomorphized God. You have made God into a human. The Bible says that God is a spirit. And it says they that worship it must worship it in spirit and in truth. Where'd the man come from? Where did your responsibility to yourself. Y'all have made God this big thing in the sky that's supposed to rain down on everybody. But then you've also given God, your God, the way you have positioned and made and created God in your image. You guys said God made you in his image, but the true truth is that you guys are making God in your image. So all the rights and the wrongs that you have inside of yourself, you think that God put that in place. Didn't. Because the true truth is that the spirit wants to express, and God is a spirit. It just wants you to express all kinds of things. Even the things that you don't think are right needs to be expressed because it's still God. But you can't understand that And I'm going to stop talking to you because I said what I said. And I wish you the best. Oh, John, don't go quoting scripture to me, boy. You know what, John? Hold on. I love you. But I can't have you here. Goodbye, John. I just need people here that's ready to receive. I need people in here that's ready to change their lives. I want people in here that are ready to fucking express, not greatness, express your heart. What did you want to be when you grew up? What did you want to be? Express that. You can do it now. Did you want to be a mermaid? Bitch, if you don't go be a mermaid, go get you a tail. Go look how much them silicone tails cost. And go save you up some money and go get you that silicone tail. And then get into a swimming pool and express your mermaid dreams. You hear me? Go be that. When you were little, what you wanted to be? I used to want to be a veterinarian. Yeah. I don't want to be no veterinarian no more. I wanted to be so much when I was little. But I still have this like weird love for dogs. I love dogs so much. I want to pet every dog. I want to feed every dog. I love dogs. And I'm getting ready to express how much I love dogs. I even think I might want to have a sanctuary for dogs. Because I love them. Go express. Go express. I'm a goddess, so I express a goddess. That's why I don't argue. Goddesses don't argue, especially with men. Like, to be honest, most men annoy me. Because they're in conversations about the spirit, and that's not even their wheelhouse. When a man is in a conversation about the spirit, he should shut up. If I was to ask you about how to build a house, I would shut up. If I were to ask you how to make a spreadsheet and make a report, I'll shut up. But when it comes to the things of the spirit and the goddess is speaking, you shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm over here expressing. And you're trying to use logic in a game that doesn't even require logic. Hold on, y'all. Let me just get this chocolate. Hold on. You can't wipe chocolate off. That's illegal. You have to lick the chocolate off your fingers, right? So anyway, I really do implore all of you to go learn and study and listen to people and talk with people of different cultures. If you see somebody with a hijab, if they got time, talk to them. If you see somebody with religious garb that you don't understand, talk to them. They would probably love to talk to you because the truth be told, people are so ignorant in the head. People that walk around in religious garb feel that people are looking at them. People that are judging them. People are making fun of them. You be the person to say, hey, I think what you got on is cool. I want to learn some more. Where can I get some more information about this? I mean, I know you may not have enough time to sit and give me a dissertation about what this means and what it symbolizes, but you got something I can go look at. Can you refer something to me to go look and study and talk to people and understand? Go understand people's traditions. Go understand people's religions. Go understand because you might see something in that resonates with your heart, that resonates with your spirit. When I say resonate, what does that mean? So there's something called the law of resonation. And the law of resonation is a part of the 12 universal laws. But what that means is that basically if I play the violin, and you guys are going to see that really soon. But if I was to play my violin and play the letter A, which is the second string, play A. Ooh, ooh. And if there was another violin or if there was a piano in this room, every A on that piano would play. It would hum. Because I'm playing A on my violin. Ooh. And it will basically, the A, because it's on the same frequency, the A on anything around here that vibrates on A, it will start vibrating. That's called resonation. Resonation is, you know how you walk into the room and you got like, your energy is hype. And all of a sudden the other person in the room that got hype energy, y'all, you don't even know this person. But y'all done came together and now all of a sudden y'all hype together. You're like, girl, I like you. Y'all resonating together, right? That's the law of resonation. When things resonate inside of you, you can feel it. When you see something and it makes your heart get warm, you feel it. When you see something and it reminds you of your childhood in a good way, you're resonating. When you hear something and you're like, that was good, you resonated. If you hear something and it's the answer to what you have been thinking about in your head and don't nobody know what you've been thinking about in your head, but you hear that and you're like, oh, girl, that was exactly what I was thinking about for the last week. That's resonation. When you are learning from different people and you start to have those moments of resonation, when things are just, it feels like it illuminates inside of you, like it's connecting with something inside of you, go study it, go learn more about it, and possibly see how you can put that practice into your daily. And you watch what I tell you. If you can find that one thing, and you'll find more and more things, but just start with one. If you can find one thing that resonates with you from somebody else's belief system that you had never done, never thought of, right? And it resonates with you and you start practicing it consistently, something in your life is going to get better. Something in your life is going to start. And most likely, if it is the answer to the thing that was in your mind that you hadn't told anybody and what they said was the answer, that's the thing. If you can get into that and you don't have to practice things exactly like other people are practicing it, right? So when I chant now, sometimes I'm in that position, sometimes I'm in front of the mirror because I have a love for mirrors. So sometimes I will chant in front of the mirror as I'm looking at myself, right? And I was going to a zone, like go in to my spirit, and I'm chanting and speaking, affirming into my spirit what I needed to grab hold to, right? What I need to embed itself into my spirit, what I need my spirit to express, I will chant that into my spirit, right? And so when you find that thing, I guarantee you that if you can find, even if you're on this video and you're like, I like something that Kelly said, I'm going to do that, right? Do it. Especially if it's answering something, if it's an unsaid answer, that's the answer. And if you can find out how to creatively put that into your practice. And let me say this too, a spiritual practice is just that. The word spirit and practice are separately important. I've already said spirit, right? The spirit of what's inside of you that wants to be expressed. But the practice, you want to be a good baseball player, you're going to practice every day. You want to be a good painter, you're going to practice every day. You want to be a good piano player, you're going to practice every day. If you want your expression to be good and powerful and strong and memorable and impactful, you're going to practice every day. If you want your spirit to latch hold to a concept, to something, you're going to practice it every day. Every day. A spiritual practice is something you do every day. You can do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, but you should be doing a spiritual practice every day. But you get ideas of how you can create a spiritual practice by learning from other people. If you don't, sometimes you'll get the answers in your own meditation. Sometimes you'll get, like I said, use YouTube for what it is. Use it as if the people are in front of you. Use it as if you're interviewing the people to understand what they believe in and why they're doing it. Like, okay, well, you do this. Why do you do this? You do this. So, for example, I understand why Islamic women cover up. I understand that. I'm not going to always cover up. Most of the time I'm not. But there are sometimes I will cover up. On days when my spirit wants to express something modestly, I'll do that. And I understand it because men are animals. Men only see bodies. I mean, you can look on, if you're on my lives at any time, there are men in other countries that come on these lives all the time, and they're always talking about my body. They're not listening to anything I'm saying. They're not listening to a spiritual practice. They're not, because as I said, men need religion. They need something to control them because they're wild. They are feral, and they need something to tell them what to do. They need to believe in something outside of them that's bigger than them to keep them under control. Women don't need that. Women are the church. Women are the spirit. Women have to tap into their spirit. Women have to tap into their dark energy, because that feminine energy is dark. It's dark. I know some people preach that there is a light feminine energy. I don't believe it. That's not how I follow it. When it's my light energy, it's my masculine energy. But when it's my dark energy, and inside of darkness, anything goes. Inside of darkness, my darkness, I make the rules. You make the rules as a woman inside of your church, inside of your darkness, inside of the fem. When you look at the Tao Te Ching, the yin and the yang, the white side, the light, is the masculine, and the dark side, the black side, is the feminine. It is representative of the womb. It is representative of creation. It is representative of infinite. It is representative of cultivating. It is representative of the dirt in the ground when you put the seed, and before you see the fruit, the seed is in there germinating, and the seed is in there growing. That's what the dark energy represents. Everything comes from there. And when your soil is nutritious, your fruit is delicious. And that's why we have to take care of ourselves. That's why you guys always see me. And yes, at 40, I finally got it. I wish I would have had the love for my body and the worship for my body that I have now. I wish I had that in my 30s, but I didn't. And that's okay. My 40s is good enough. And so that's why I'm walking 2.5 miles every day. That's why I eat within a window. So I eat between 4 hours a day. I do a 20-40 fast because it is an act of worship for my body. I care for my body. I am celibate. I don't have sex. There's some qualities and types of foods I will not ingest in my body because it is a church, it is a temple. And I want my ground to be just juicy and delicious and nutritious and full of minerals and vitamins, so that whatever I plant grows strong and healthy, right? Whatever I plant inside of myself, I want it to grow strong and healthy, and it does. And it does. And I've seen the difference. I've seen the difference in just how I speak. It's stronger, it's bolder, it's sure. Yes, some of it has to do with age, but also, yes, some of it has to do with how I cultivate and nurture myself as a woman. Women should nurture themselves first. We are the church. We are the spirit. We nurture ourselves, we nurture spirit, we nurture our emotions. But we do it in order. We do it because we still have masculine energy, and we put our boundaries around it. We don't need anybody else to put boundaries around it for us. We are able to do that ourselves. But the point I'm trying to make here is, I'm going back to the very beginning. I know that it would be more beneficial for people if they would allow their children to safely, and they can do that within the home that's safe. If you allow your children safely to learn about different cultures and different religious beliefs, and allow your children to teach them how to create spiritual practices that help them be who they want to be. Teach them how to create spiritual practices that will cultivate and grow the spirit inside of them that they want to express, not what you want them to express to make you proud, and not what you want them to express to fulfill something that you couldn't do yourself. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people are parenting out of fear, their own fear, something that they did and they made a mistake, or they got blocked, or they got scared, or they got hurt. And so you want your children to go to that certain line and tell them about this fear and this pain that may not happen for them just because it happened for you. You two have two different stories. You two have two different life paths. You two can't. The natal chart is fantastic. And if you don't know your natal chart, I necessarily can't help you with that. But I know you can get on, you can just Google natal chart and you can get bare basics about a natal chart. But you absolutely should, if you're interested in that, go find someone who does natal charts and really learn about your chart. You need to learn about where your houses are, especially your Venus. You need to learn what house that's in, and you need to learn what sign that's in, because if you're single and you want a relationship, or not just a romantic relationship, this will help you with your agape relationships as well as your eros relationships. All of your relationships, you need to learn, how you like to love and how you like to be loved. You need to learn that. You need to learn your north node and your south node, because what was important for me to learn is that I love being by myself. The nodes tell you who you were in your last lifetime and who you need to be in this lifetime, where you need to focus. And I was absolutely still trying to be my last lifetime. I was still trying to be by myself because in my last lifetime I was isolated, and I enjoy being isolated still. I live in Mexico by myself. I don't have no family down here, and I ain't gonna lie, I like it like that. When I get ready for family, when I get ready to be with people, I get on an airplane and I go to the States and I stay for as long as I want. And then when I'm ready for isolation, which is probably in about 6 weeks or 4 weeks, I'm ready to come back to my isolation in Mexico. Don't nobody talk to me, and I don't really talk to nobody. I talk to my neighbors, well, one neighbor. But I like that, and so my node helps me to remember, Kelly, you remember that you're a traveler and I'm a traveler. I've only been to 11 countries, but I'm proud of the countries I've been to, right? I've been to 11 countries, and I mean, I explore. More than a traveler, I like to call myself an explorer. I explore, but that was why I was able to do it in such a way. It's funny, if you ask me how much all that cost, I lived in Europe for 4 months, and the only reason why I came back here is because COVID happened. And stuff was happening on the news, and stuff was happening online, and I couldn't understand the local stuff. When you're in another country and you can't understand the news, that's problematic, because they could be telling you things that you need to know, need to go on, and if you don't understand, and nobody knows to tell you, nobody's even responsible to tell you. So that's why I made my butt come on back to the United States, and I'm glad I did, because literally 2 weeks later, 10 days later, they closed the borders for the United States. So had I stayed in Croatia, I would have been like locked in Croatia until they opened up those borders to let me back over to the United States, and that would have freaked me out. But if you knew how little money it took me to travel to all these countries, you would be like, wow. And so many of you guys are saying, well, when I get the money, I'm gonna do this. When I get the money, I'm gonna do this. I didn't wait for that. I just didn't. I got me a cheap ticket over there, and once you get over there, you can fly damn near anywhere for $20 to $40. Once you get over into the EU, but you don't know that until you get over there. You don't know that until you get around some people who've traveled like that, right? And like I said, when I go, I'm not trying to be on no resorts. I'm trying to be right in the neighborhoods. I'm trying to Airbnb. I want to have neighbors. When I was in Paris, I needed to experience walking up 8 flights of stairs. Y'all, that was a culture shock. I'm over here like, where's the lift? And they're like, ain't no lift. I'm like, what's happening, right? And then I understood why they wasn't fat over there. Like, they thick, but they not fat. And I was like, what? And even that was a culture shock. Like, the body positivity. I'm body positivity to a certain extent. I don't think nobody should be 300 pounds. I don't think nobody should be 400 pounds. Bitch, you may be cute. I was cute. But I should never have been 300 pounds. You cannot enjoy life. There's a quality of life that you don't know you're missing at 300 pounds. But go off. You know what I mean? As a person who's been 300 pounds, almost 350, go off. I know for me, that wasn't going to work for me anymore. And I'm trying to get this last 50 off, because I need to be back at 200 pounds. I'm comfortable at 200 pounds. You can do everything you want to do at 200 pounds. But 300, that ain't the business. And that is not the will for my life. But, traveling to different places helped me to understand culturally, like, America, not only are their portion sizes too big, but the quality of the food that they're giving you is basura. So by default, you're just going to be bigger, thicker, more unhealthy than the people that are in other places. Do you know when I went to Italy? When I asked for water, people looked at me crazy. Now in the United States, they telling you need to have a gallon of water a day. Drink, what is it, a third of your body weight? Who? I live in Mexico, I don't drink water. I haven't had a glass of water months. I can't tell you why, Kelly. You gotta have water. My body is 70% water. There are different studies out in different countries about how much water you really need. Y'all need water in the United States because you're eating lab-made food, because you're eating 3D printed food. You need water. But in Mexico, the meat that I eat was killed last week. The meat that you ate was killed months ago. Not even sure if it came from a real animal, right? Could be cloned. Not meat here in Mexico. My chicken is yellow when it comes out the package. That took me a little bit to get over the yellow chicken. But hey, that chicken good down here. I try not to eat chicken in the United States. When I'm in the United States, I'm very limited because even your vegetables aren't real sometimes. I've seen fake lettuce. So it's wild, right? It's wild. But no, I don't drink water. This is not water. It's a sugar-free drink. And can't nobody tell me nothing because since I've been here, I've lost 50 pounds since I've been here. And I eat. In fact, if you look, I have a live that I did right before this live. I just ate 3 eggs, 4 pieces of ham, and potatoes and a papusa. I'm eating down here. Your girl is eating. I just eat on a schedule. I eat on a schedule. And I eat better quality foods. But again, moving to a different country helped me to learn that and see that. Study and just really learn from different people, learn from different cultures. It's exciting to learn from different cultures and exciting to learn from different belief systems and things that resonate with you. Try them out in your life and give it consistency and see what it helps in your life. The very first thing you should notice when you're doing something, how do I know if it's working in my life? You'll feel better. Women, never underestimate feeling better. Men, no. Men don't have to feel better. That's not what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to produce better. But women, we are supposed to feel better. Even if you're a gay man, and I love me some gay men, but you're still a man, and you are supposed to produce. And if you are a woman, I don't care if you're a lesbian, and I don't care if you are the masculine presenting, you are supposed to feel. It's your superpower. I love lesbian women that were the studs, and they hit 40, and they start having the same midlife crisis as the regular women, and then they realize they just women. Oh, you thought you was a boy? Nope, you was a girl. Cause you feeling menopause? Oh, you forgot about that, huh? You thought it was just for us? It's for you too, girl. And when those feelings and those hormones start raging, and they're feeling in ways that they had historically been able to oppress because they were presenting masculinely, it's fun to see. It's fun to see. I got a lot of lesbian sisters that I helped walk through that. Like, it's okay, baby. You ain't cried this much in your whole life, have you? No, I ain't. I wasn't supposed to cry, bitch. Bitch, you's a bitch, just like the rest of us. Come on, just cry with the rest of us, girl. It doesn't make you any, in fact, it does not make you any weaker. Not crying as a woman makes you weak. Crying as a woman, woo, baby, you watering the ground. You watering the ground. You're watering it, baby. You have to. You gotta let that shit out. Otherwise, we would destroy things. Dark energy is chaotic. If we don't cry, we would destroy things. We need to cry. Be grateful we cry and don't destroy as women. Whether you know it or not, you are powerful as fuck. A woman, baby, powerful. I actually want to do more, and this has nothing to do with my comeback, but I do want to do more work on hermaphrodites. So if anybody watches this and you are intersex, please reach out to me, KellyMaresha@gmail. I want to talk to you so bad. I want to ask questions. I want to learn who you are. If you know somebody who is, send them this video, and if they want to talk with me, I want to learn. I want to ask questions, and I want you to express. I'm so interested in that. Yeah, find things that resonate with you and lean into it. Find things that resonate. Do not be afraid to tap out, to reach out, and to learn about different cultures and different ethnicities. Do not be afraid. There is no hell that you can fall into. And heaven is a state of mind. I live in heaven every day. The moment I denounced that existence of a God, and the moment I recognized myself as God of my life, and the moment I recognize you, Liz, as God, and the moment I recognize, is it Gamelo over here? Gamelo! The moment I recognized you as God, the moment I recognized each human that I was coming in contact as God and a reflection of myself, what? That changed my divinity. It changed my divinity. It elevated who I was in it, and it gave me back the power that I was always supposed to have. Because if you believe, if you're a Bible reader, you believe that God made you in its image, not him, because God is not a man that he should lie. That's what your Bible says. God is a spirit. If God made you in its image, then you have no gender, you have no morals, You are everything and nothing at the same time. And that also means that you have the power to create and express, just as the Spirit of God does. I express because I am the Spirit of God, and I express and create who I want to be at any given time. Sometimes I'm going to be this person, and sometimes I'm going to be this person. It depends. In each season, I can be whoever I want to be. I don't know what that means, Diego, but you're God too. Yeah. Hell and sin. Sin is going against yourself. Sin is not expressing who you want to be. Sin is you've always wanted to do this, but because something told you it wasn't right over here to do this, you're not doing that. That's sin. Sin is the suppression of who you're supposed to be and who your spirit, the Spirit of God that wants to express, and you're telling it, no, I can't do that because the Bible says that's the sin. And that's also the hell. Because you're going to be tormented. You're always going to be sitting in a place of shoulda, coulda, woulda. Always be sitting in a place of like rocking back and forth in a straitjacket, like a spiritual straitjacket, because you cannot fully express, and you will have cramps. When you are stuck in a place and can't move, your body will cramp up. And then after a while, when you've been cramped up so long, your body will start to retard, and it will be stuck in these positions. I actually was watching something very disheartening a couple of weeks ago about a young lady that got shot by a boyfriend. And she is paralyzed from the neck down. And she said she's been paralyzed for so long that her hands and her feet are starting to curl up. That's how some of you guys are behaving in the spirit. When you will not express what and who you want to be and who you know that you want to be and who you are, because some religion or belief system or your mama or your daddy or some tradition, and that's the worst. I love Tyler, the Creator, says, I don't give a fuck about tradition. Stop impressing the dead. What? That was your tradition. And a lot of people believe in and don't get me wrong, I believe that ancestors are there, but I do not believe that ancestors dictate what you're supposed to do. I believe that if I want something and I have a question, I have to ask ancestors and they can tell you the answers, or they can help move you towards what you want. I do not believe that we satisfy and fulfill the agendas of ancestors. And I do not believe that we satisfy the agendas of family lineages, like doing it for my family. I don't do shit for my family. If my family wants something done for themselves, they need to express it and do it themselves, because we are all gods of our own lives, and we all have our own journeys, and we all have capacity to make happen what we want to make happen for ourselves. Tending to your own business is a real thing. Tending to your business, tending a garden, your business, your spirit, tend to your own spirit. Tend to your own expression. Tend to your own what you say you want to be. Tend to your own journey, okay? Don't try to make me a part of your journey. Don't try to squish and suppress me apart. And the thing is that you trying to suppress me a part of your journey, are you not bold enough to go through it yourself? Why do you need me to go on this journey with you? Why do you need me to agree on this journey with you? Express what you want to express. You don't need me. Or do you need somebody to be on this journey with you? Sometimes people have people on their journey with them that they perceived as being less than. So they have people around them that they perceive are lower than them, or not as smart as them. And true enough, they need to keep you on that journey with them, and they're going to continue to tell you things. I think a lot of pastors are like that. A lot of pastors ain't got shit to say. A lot of pastors ain't got no degrees. They don't work good jobs themselves. They don't have no retirement plans. They don't have no health insurance. A lot of pastors, they grew up not being listened to, not having respect, and they want somebody to listen to them and have respect for them so bad and look at them like an idol so bad that they're going to continue to spew the oppressive gospel of Christianity to keep minions around them so that they can feel like they are the mouthpiece of God, and that these minions and have allegiance that follow them. And in some churches, it's to the point where the minions, I've heard, Lord have mercy. I've heard of a pastor one time having his minions change his shoes for him. Literally, him sitting down and his minions is taking off his shoes and taking off his socks for him. The fuck? The fuck? No. But there are some people, you got to be really careful with that. Why do you need me on this journey with you? It'd be different if you really thought your journey was great. And you're like, I just want you on the journey because this is really great and I want you to have a great time too. But quite often, that's not what people are saying. People are saying, I want you on this journey with me because I'm scared for you if you go off this journey because I don't know what's over there. I don't know what's over there. I'm scared to go over there and I don't want you to go over there because I'm scared for you. Don't be scared for me, Argentina. Let me go. Let me go off and find my own journey and find my own path. If I'm not scared for me, don't you be scared of me. Applaud for me or just look away. Encourage me or shut up. Because I'm going to journey. I've never been one that wanted to follow. I've always been a leader. And at 34, when I released that there was a God outside of me, when I released that there was a Jesus that was dictating when I could get something and when I couldn't get something, when I was worthy for something and when I wasn't worthy. Like the Bible was contradicting itself. First you said that you withhold no good thing from me, but now you're telling me I've got to obey your word to get stuff. That's a contradiction. Am I going to get it or not? You know what? Let me be God and let me believe that I can give it to myself. Let me believe that I can work for it myself. Let me believe that I can manifest it myself. Let me believe that I can change my mindset and change what I believe that I can have so that it can come into me. I'd rather believe that because that makes me feel better. It does not make me feel good to know or to believe that there's a God outside of me that doesn't think I followed something well enough to its satisfaction, so it's going to keep something from me. It doesn't feel well to me that there is a God that says, that you guys say, that it knows what you were going to do before you even do it. Yet you got me down here wasting 90, 100 years just watching me do what you already know I'm going to do. That's dumb. In fact, that sounds very sadistic. That sounds like you got rats down here in a maze and you're watching them for your delight as they bump into walls and as they hurt themselves, as they die. That's not the kind of God I want to serve. I don't want that kind of God. And the thing is, God is omni. So just as much as you believe God got you that job, God allowed all this to happen. But you only want to remember when God is doing good stuff for you, but you don't remember when God allows the bad stuff. If that works for you, fine. If you're happy with life, stay there. But the truth is, I know that people aren't happy. That's why so many Christians are on my stuff. So many Christians follow me and they sneak into my inbox and talk to me. And I'm telling you, this is not the year for that. You can watch me, but you cannot sneak in my inbox to talk to me. You're going to book an appointment because I want to help you get to happiness because I'm happy. Every day I'm happy. Even if I have a depressive episode, I'm happy. My depressive episodes don't look like yours. I guarantee it. They don't look like yours, smell like yours, behave like yours, think like yours. And I can help people get through them very, very, very sweetly and very calmly, right? I didn't say that they don't come, because that's life. Because you're being down here in this world, and that's just kind of this earth for me. Like, I know people say earth is ghetto and they don't like earth, right? I love earth. Because earth is the realm where you can feel feelings. Earth is the realm where you can feel feelings. There are not many realms, if any other realms that I know of, that can feel feelings the way we feel. And we came down here to feel these feelings. We, as energies, we came together and decided I'm going to be a collective of energies, and I'm going to insert myself in this vessel, and they're going to call it Kelly. A collective of energies said we want to express something down on earth because we want to feel what it feels like to express and be this. So we're going to come together, insert ourselves into this body, and we're going to call ourselves KellyMaresha. But at the end of the day, we're still a collection of energies, and I can still express any one of those, right? Because they're inside. That collection has come together to be one. And it's inside. And I get to express. And it's fun to express. And when you don't express, you are unhappy. When you don't express, you have really bad depressive episodes. When you don't express, you have really bad anxiety. When you think that there's a boogeyman after you, when you think you're going to hell, you have anxiety. When you think you're not doing good enough and you're not making the mark, you're going to have depression. Got to the end. Anyway, this is the end. This is the end of my drink. It's going to be the end of the video. I love myself. I love you all, guys. Don't be afraid to learn. Hell is not real. Heaven and hell is a mindset. And create heaven on earth. You do not have to wait till you die to experience heaven. And I want all of you to know that, okay? I love myself. I love you. If you want to book an appointment with me, if you want to work with me, if you want me to walk with you on your journey, KellyMaresha@gmail.com. I can do that for you. Let me know your budget, and I will work with you this year. Because I'm excited. Listen, I just want to spread. I want to express. I want to express my goddess. And this goddess wants to walk with you. Okay, I love myself. I love you. Bye, everybody. Oh, wait. Like, subscribe, share. Like, subscribe, and share. But really, most importantly, subscribe. Thank you.